Well, I guess it started for all of us the same night in 2006 when PXP was drilling a deep oil well and wound up hitting a pocket of very odorous gas. And many of us had to leave our homes in the middle of the night.
There was some unfortunate noxious fumes that were emitted from the oil field, and because of the direction of the wind at that time, landed in our neighborhood very quickly.
People had to think, okay, what are we going to do about the fact that this oil field is in this urban neighborhood with several 100,000 people living within, a mile field.
We complained about it, and PXP came and showed up at a number of neighborhood meetings, including one for Culver Crest that Ken and I were at, and swore up and down that this was an exceptionally unusual event. It would never happen again, and apologized.
And then a month later it happened again, and so we became more vigilant.
At NRDC, we were surprised to learn that there were no environmental, health, or safety regulations for the oil field.
We were concerned principally about the air quality risks. The odorous gas that they hit in 2006 and that forced my family to evacuate our homes in the middle of the night.
Ken was the driving force behind much of the community concern about the Community Standards District, and then the litigation. He was one of the lead attorneys. I was his co-counsel.
We were looking around trying to find allies to help our neighborhood association, and somehow Ken found the Community Health Council. Lark and Gwen put together a series of community meetings aimed at analyzing what the potential risks from the oil field were and what the county should do to help lessen those risks.
It was a lot of work. Ken pretty much took the laboring oar on a lot of the work for the Baldwin Hills litigation. I never saw him without a huge briefcase and a binder because this was a very complicated case. There were lots of issues. The environmental impact report was enormous, and to be able to sift through all of that information and be right on top of the facts and everything you needed to know about the case, Ken had it all up here.
We did a lot of fun stuff. Put out a series of lawn signs, had a tremendous number of literature campaigns, and wrote our own draft ordinance to regulate oil field activities, and presented that to the county and had a whole press conference over that. And really it was, CHC was very critical in the outcome of our efforts, and it would not have happened without CHC's presence in the community and standing with the county.
The real reason that we have a Community Standards District is that Ken Kutcher, when he saw that the county was sort of dragging its feet, drafted his own version of an ordinance and published it. Gwen and Lark held a press conference at the Kenny Hahn Park, and as a result of that, we were given a place at the table with the County Department of Regional Planning when the final ordinance was drafted.
We don't always have the resources to be able to do things like take on, enormous litigation like this case was. Lots of papers were filed. There were lots of hearings to attend, discovery to sift through, facts to go over. Ken shouldered the laboring oar for a lot of that for our part of the case, and I learned a lot from watching him and sort of seeing how he handled the issues as they came up.
And the amount of time and effort that Ken put into that, I don't think can fully be appreciated by anyone who didn't live through it. It was a year and a half of his life, and probably close to 20, 30 hours a week for that amount of time.
There's not a lot of people out there who will do something for nothing. And this was someone who stepped forward and said, I'm going to set aside some of my own personal financial interest to help this community, help my community, get the kinds of protections and safeguards that it needed. And we couldn't have achieved what we did had we not had someone with his skill and talent and passion for this community.
It really is possible to have an impact on City Hall. Literally one person was able to get the ball rolling by drafting a sample ordinance, and we are very much farther along the road than we ever would have been had not Ken Kutcher and the Community Health Council put in a tremendous amount of effort. And it really surprised me that one person or one small group was able to have that much of an impact on an issue that is really important to millions of people.
I work in lots of coalitions. It's kind of what we do. This is one time when the coalition was it was magic. We were practically felt like family by the end. I think Ken was a big part of that, and CHC as well.